Everyone. Welcome to another episode of Keystone Academia's podcast. Today we have Mr. Qasim from Dubai as a guest. He's a senior finance manager with the company and with variety of experience throughout the finance domain. And I would like to invite everyone to watch until the end to understand more about his finance journey and various certifications and much more. Welcome, Mr. Qasim.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting. Pleasure to be with you.
You're welcome. Qasim, just to start with, I believe you started your career from around 2006 in Dubai as an
Yes.
accountant, and now you are a senior finance manager with a big company. Can you give a summary of your journey? How did you climb up the ladder?
Sure. Actually, I started, as you rightly mentioned, in 2006 as an accountant. My initial assignment was with a manufacturing company here in Dubai. Almost 2 years I spent there. Then I gradually progressed towards more financial, leadership positions. And like after the 2 years, I joined in real estate sector. Since then, I have been in real estate sector itself, ranging from real estate development to sales, leasing, asset management, facilities management, and community management. And I was fortunate enough to work with one of the greatest names here in the region. So this is how the progression in finance started from accounting to now I'm working as a senior finance manager in one of the reputed companies here in Dubai.
Oh, great, great. You mentioned real estate, your experience in, right?
Yes.
And to connect with the question, what's the real estate market currently? I mean, everyone, let's say if you are looking an ad in the YouTube or anywhere, we can see a lot of ads regarding invest in Dubai, invest in properties. What do you think about that? Why does that huge boom in the Middle East?
See, this is question for some real estate expert, but from finance, I can say that real estate is one of the key drivers of growth here in UAE. Previously, it used to be the oil sector, right? Oil sector, sorry, and now it's much diversified. Tourism, hospitality, and real estate, as you know, that it's the key factor in whether you go into real estate. I mean, tourism or hospitality, this is the key pillar of growth. And UAE is unique, and it's kind of a heaven on this earth. It's because of its quality of life, peace, environment that you get here, that makes, or like, it sits at a totally separate position, a unique position for UAE. And obviously, yes, as you rightly said, there is a quite boom in real estate right now here in UAE. It's working very well, and it's never too late to invest if somebody wants to invest. I'm not an expert in giving advice for investment, but yeah, this is the market sentiment right now.
Okay, okay. Moving to the next question. As a senior finance manager, how does your typical day looks like? What do you start with and how long do you work? Can you give us an idea about that?
Yes. See, as you know that, working in finance demands, it's a quite demanding job. For me, I'm an early riser, so obviously I wake up early, which gives me an opportunity to look after my physical fitness, and then I go to office. Since you are early, so you have ample time in hand to finish tasks. So typically, it involves overlooking the finance operations, finance reporting, performance reports, and then obviously collaborating with different stakeholders on specific issues, like for example budgeting, new initiatives, and giving advice to senior management on critical issues. And also obviously there is a heavy focus on ERPs, data driven analytics, and automation. This way, it keeps things, let's say, dynamic and looking forward, or forward looking, sorry.
Okay, okay, great. You said automation, and do you think you are more involved into AI in finance?
Look, AI is actually, it's a fact. You can't deny this AI. It's better to adopt it rather than deny it. AI is a helping tool. It can help you. It can automate so many tasks that you do, laborious tasks, repetitive tasks, which you can get rid of, and you can focus more on the task which is more important, like strategic thinking, or the bigger roles, which obviously AI is not capable of doing as we speak.
Okay, okay. Now we can talk about a little about the geography. Like, Dubai is some like it's like a brand all over the world. People would like to know more about working in Dubai, the culture. And can you describe a bit more about the finance job market or any kind of, domain? How does it look like? What skill set they might demand? Different companies have various culture. Can you give a small summary on that?
See, as you rightly said, Dubai is a brand, and Dubai is not competing against. Dubai is a city, by the way, right? So Dubai is not competing against cities, but it's competing against countries, which is unique in itself. And as far as the job market here in Dubai is concerned, it's obviously competitive, but it is full of opportunities, So, if you are a kind of a person who is, capable to cope with the fast-paced environment, who can tackle the challenges. Obviously, you have a room here. Obviously, companies here are looking for finance professionals who have ability to combine their technical expertise with critical thinking and adaptability. And obviously, Dubai is unique in itself because you will find almost every country here. So it's very diverse, multicultural, and the businesses here are looking for professionals. And by the way, it's a very welcoming country as well. So companies are looking for professionals who can come and who can drive the strategic thinking rather than just execution.
Yeah, you're right, because I believe there are more than 190 nationalities, like, working together. And I'm amazed, because the companies might be owned by an Arab or any other individual outside the country, and you can meet almost all the nationalities in a team, and managing everyone. I mean, it needs a lot of cooperation and, team building in order to be, successful. So with regards to working in Dubai, what do you think, the financial skills or any particular skills where, let's say, you might be hiring your company, you might be interviewing some finance, lower level finance guys. So what skill set or what kind of particular qualifications do you look for?
See, obviously, it depends on the role itself, right? If it's an entry level role, for example, obviously it's just the basic accounting, degree that is required. However, that is not enough for you to progress as you go, because you need to have some professional qualifications on top of that, because as you are getting experience, you would like to move ahead and go up the ladder. So obviously those things are there, but on like apart from the technical skills, you need to have some soft skills as well, like whatever if you're not able to, and if not capable to explain it, then that's something that you need to work on it. And obviously companies look at what the professionals are actually bringing to the table, what improvements they can bring, what changes they can bring, what is the mindset of person that is coming to join a team, whether they are because as I said, this is a multicultural environment, whether they are a right fit for the organization or not. And the focus is on talent itself. If you are talented, you will be hired.
Right, right. With regards to the skill set, there are a lot of confusions among the finance professionals or any other domain. What kind of technical skills they need? For example, with regards to the finance, they might be like, we normally gets a lot of questions from the students, what kind of ERP software we need to learn, when we are applying for a job. So basically we know it's like, MS Office as Excel. And so do you recommend, if someone is looking for a job in Dubai or anywhere in the world, what kind of prerequisite is needed for these finance professionals so that it can give an edge to them, to their to their experience?
See, obviously it depends on the role that you are applying for, right? If it's an entry level role, then obviously, as I explained earlier, it's just your basic qualification that is required. Plus, if you have certain experience, that would be an added advantage. In terms of ERP experience, if you lack one, doesn't mean that you are disqualified,
Yeah.
because then you will be not applying, like they will not be hiring you for implementation of ERP systems. That's where your skill set is required. Whether you have a previous experience implementing ERP, then yes. If a company is going through the phase of implementing an ERP, then obviously they will ask you if you have previous prior experience or not, right? But if there is a stable organization which already has an ERP in place, then obviously you're not required to have that, But obviously you need to see what improvements you can bring to that ERP system, because this continuous improvement is required. Once you have implemented, it doesn't mean that it will work the way it was intended. You cope with the new challenges, you make amendments as you progress. The changes are required. You are required to communicate with the operations team, with the IT, for example. So that's I mean, IT is a key. That's why even for me myself, for example, I even did 1 year diploma in information technology. That's an edge for me. For example, when I talk to IT, I understand a bit of their technical language, for example, so I know what needs to be done, how to communicate with them. So overall, the basic skill set is there, and then as you progress, then more complicated skill sets obviously are required.
Got it. So, do you think, finance, certifications like Power BI in finance or any other dashboard skills can help them, even though there's a pool who are not much experienced, maybe they are below 5 years experience. So, what is the, proportion of companies who use these kind of softwares which can help them to perform well in the interviews, or in the company overall?
See, as you mentioned about Power BI, for example, right? Power BI is a tool that enhances your reporting, your dashboards, forecasts. It's a very important tool. Now, a lot of companies are using it. People who are having this experience obviously have an edge, especially in the FP&A field. Even for example, for myself, I also enrolled into Power BI course with you only.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the things that you were spending hours on developing a report in Excel, for example, now with the help of Power BI you can develop them. You just a fraction of time that you used to spend, right? And
Right.
then there are, like, with a click of button you can change the layout, you can change the scenarios.
Right.
So it's something that is very much useful, and interactive dashboards are there. And obviously, the information required should be available on time. Then only the decision making process is useful. If you receive, for example, if somebody needs, the higher management needs an information for making any decision, if the information is not provided on time, then the decision is not relevant, because the
Right.
information itself is not relevant, right? So with the help of these tools, obviously you are in a position to provide the information instantly, and with all the scenarios taken care of. If somebody says, "Oh, what if this? What if we, let's say, improve or increase the EBITDA margin? What needs to be done?" You play with the buttons, and with an
Right.
instant click, you get the results. Obviously, these are
Right.
helpful. If one
Yeah.
can get a chance to learn them, obviously, do go for that.
I was having a discussion with a data scientist, and with regards to Power BI, and he was saying Power BI is the advance of advanced Excel. That much important is right now. Because it's everything about the time. You have to, no matter how big things you do, but if, as you said, if we can't get things done on time, it's worthless.
Yes.
Let's talk about your certifications. I believe you are an ACCA member since, I think, more than 10 years. And what do you think about finance certifications like ACCA or any other program, and how relevant is those certifications, especially in the Middle East market?
See, as far as certifications are concerned, this is again goes back to what we were discussing earlier, yeah, right? Entry level jobs are fine, but as you move upward, you need more certificate. I mean, technical expertise, plus these kind of certifications do help you. These for example, any certification, like it could be whatever you call it, right? These are there, they give you a solid base, solid foundation. Then for example, for me, this not only sharpen my skills on accounting, but also on risk, governance, leadership, right, and strategy, for example, right. And they give me a way, or let's say they position me for strategic roles, right. So they help me to think like a finance business partner, rather than just an person who is just knowing the numbers or crunching the numbers, traditional crunching numbers. So these certifications obviously open doors for you, which this is, I wouldn't say that these are guaranteed to get a job, but at least they are there to at least open the door for you. For example, they will make sure that you are called for an interview. Then it's up to you what you know, what you can bring to the table. That's being a competitive market. These are essential. These are very helpful. They broaden your thinking. They broaden your, the way you deal with the situations. They give you real world scenarios, examples. So it's much easier for you to tackle these situations on ground if you have these qualifications in hand. However, these qualifications, again, does not guarantee a job.
Yeah.
They might be a key to open the door, but then it's up to you how you perform, how what you bring. That is the key for you to getting a job and staying there.
Yeah, right. You are absolutely right. Why? Because we get a lot of questions. Even we have a huge pool of CMA, ACCA, and other certifications. We do get queries like the queries are mostly from graduates who are started with all these qualifications, and they always ask what will be my package soon after completing the certification. And I don't normally answer in an unbiased way. I can even say, you will get these mini package. I mean, I don't feel myself right, saying that, because that's not the truth. The truth is that, as exactly you said, these certifications are just a small, push to your career, and it can give you an edge over other candidates. But if you have performed well in the interview, and as well as you develop all these soft skills like communication skills and various other skills, then only you can be leveraging these certifications. So that's exactly my thought, and just want to share these experience with you. And as I said, with the ACCA or CMA or any students who are going to complete as soon as possible, they are having a big fear of they don't have any experience, or their experience is less than 5 years. What advice would you like to give when you are, I believe you did your ACCA around like 2011. You must be like in 5 years of experience. So how did you utilize those experience with the certification to climb up the ladder for being a senior finance manager?
See, actually, I was encouraged, to be honest, by when I was doing my first job. So my hiring manager who hired me, he told me that, he called me, he said, look, there are two ways to go, to climb up the ladder. One is your traditional route, which is you work, gain experience, and then you move, which is a long way. Then there is another one, which is you go for some qualifications, right? You do your qualifications along with your experience. This is, as you said, this will give you an edge, right?
Yeah.
So, I started studying my ACCA. Even I did my CMA as well. So the if you are working, for example, right, and you are trying to do your any certification, the thing that you need to keep in mind is that whatever you learn, you need to apply practically,
Right.
right? So try to, whatever you are learning when you are at work, try to think of ways you can improve this. Think how this is, are you doing it right or not? Or what are the ways that you can improve it? So practical application is the key. And then you have to go beyond your job. Look for ways where you can help the company. For example, take some assignments, like like for me, for example, I went into the budgeting, asking them how can I take some assignment, because this is relevant to my what I'm studying right now. So budgeting analysis, or even anything that even if you have to go beyond your JD or job description, those are the key, because this practical thing is the key that will give you an edge. So
Right.
don't shy, that, oh, I don't have an experience, or even if you are fresh or you are on job, right?
Right.
If you are on job, is a better thing. I know it will be difficult for you to take time for studies. However, think in a positive way. You are already working, right? So you can finance your studies, and then you can practically apply what you are learning. And then whatever challenges you face during your job, you can ask these while you are studying. You can, that how I can improve this, what more efficiencies I can bring into this. So if you are not working, for example, then it's easy for you to take time
Yes.
and
Right.
study, and then when you go for a job, then you can apply whatever you have learned.
Right. Yeah, with regards to that, like you, sorry, you were working full time and studying ACCA, and after that you completed CMA US as well. So how did you manage this kind of hustle, and especially you're working in finance and it's not a 9 to 5 job. You might be working late during your closing, monthly closing, and how did you manage this? Can you give an idea about that?
See, it's I don't know whether you are, or people who live in UAE will know that the traffic between Sharjah and Dubai, right? So I was living in Sharjah, working in Dubai. So there was too much traffic. So people who live in Sharjah, they have to wake up early and leave for office, And then where our office was located, there was a problem, or let's say a shortage of parking. There was a parking issue. So, it used to take me 2 hours from my home to office commuting in the morning. So, one day I was thinking that what I can do, this is a challenge I can turn into an opportunity. So
Right.
what I can do, I thought, okay, what if I start early? I will reach in 25 minutes. And then the time that I get there, around 2 hours every day, early in the morning, I can utilize them. I can
Mm.
study. So I was sitting in my car literally for 2 hours. Out every day in the morning, I was studying. So this is how, and even during weekends, for example, my cousins or friends, whenever they go for movie or something, you want to go, then I will calculate 3 hours for movie, and then 2 hours for coming and going, 5 hours. Even if I spend, let's say, 3 hours of those studying, that will be more productive for me than I know it's a dull life, but this is how eventually I achieved this.
I don't know if it's a coincidence. I did the same while I was in Dubai, and I was preparing for my CMA exams, and I used to go like 1 hour, 1.5 hours early, and I'll be the only one. I'm a good friend of the security over there, because we talk a lot, because he sees me early, and I leave late as well after my session, like after my full-time job, and I'll stay back. And even my managers are like, they knows I'm preparing for the certifications, and he might see this. I mean, luckily one of my manager is a student for CMA US. I mean, so what you said is exactly, correct, because we are just stuck in the traffic, and that you can either use it for podcast or something, but
Yes.
in a situation where you can utilize this time for studying by make use of some strategy like you did. Great. To go on with the next question, this is with regards to finance professionals who are trying to apply in the Middle East, especially in Dubai or any other city. Like, what are the strategies they need to, follow? Maybe it can be related to resume, or it can be related to certain sites, or what is the strategy? Because traditionally, what they do is that they go door to door to the companies, and they drop their resume, which is less efficient in this current scenario, and they will surely divert them to the website. And in the website they'll be getting thousands of resume, and it cannot be traced. And another thing is ATS, where it is automatically rejected by the company. So do you have specific advice with regards to that?
See, again, this is more towards the HR related question, but gone are those days when you used to go door to door and drop your CVs, right? Now, I would say you just need to do proper research, right? Just, see the industry trends, do the market research, see what occupations are in demand, for example, right? And then you need to customize your CV. And if possible, there are a lot of tools available online now, right? You just run it through ATS so that you know that your system, I mean, your CV is ATS compliant, so that it's not get rejected. Because nowadays, their companies are using tools to scrutinize CVs because nobody has time now to go through thousands of CVs and shortlist them, for first step. So just make sure that they are ATS compliant. And then, there are jobs which are advertised online. There are multiple platforms here in UAE which you can Google and see because we there are multiple. So you can visit them. LinkedIn is one of the
Right.
professional platforms where you can see if there are any job openings. But still there are some jobs which are not actually advertised. Those are through your connections. Not that still on. It's like they don't advertise it. If you know someone who has a job opening, for example, then you can apply there. If you are a right fit for that company, then they might hire you. But there are multiple ways. One of them is just go through all the sites where they traditionally they have advertised their vacancies, including LinkedIn, connections, build strong relationships, go through the job market and see.
Networking events. Yeah.
Yes, networking events.
Right. Yeah, with regards to the updates and trends in finance, do you recommend any kind of tools like, reading some articles or any kind of, pages you follow or any news you follow? Can you give us an idea about that?
See, for technical, I think this IS Plus website where you get the, all the updates. I just follow
Yes.
that for IFRS related updates. And then if there are some industry experts, you can follow them on LinkedIn, for example, right? It's not only technical, but you can also see what, soft skills you can develop, your presentation skills, the way you walk, the way you talk, if you are a manager, for example, how do you manage your team, how to motivate them. So all these things. And as you said, when you are commuting, you can listen to podcasts, audiobooks, instead of because stuck in traffic, gives you another opportunity to go through some productive things, which are listening to podcasts, audiobooks.
Right, right. Got it. Yeah. So in the end, like, what do you advise to the audience? Well, the audience varies. It can be young professionals, senior professionals, and finance certifications, I mean students. And any particular advice would you like to give to them?
See, I always say, there is always room for improvement. If you stay where you are, you stay what you are. you know so believe in yourself, right? Keep moving, keep growing, because and if you get a chance, do go for something every day. You are learning something new. It's just continuous development. This shows that you are keen to learn and grow, because this is the key for any professional to grow. You can't be there's no option of being stagnant. you know no way. You have to keep moving, keep growing, no matter what the circumstances are. Don't stop.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
learning, for example, develop new skills, learn new things, go for them. Who's stopping you? Some, as you might be facing these situations. People ask you, I want to do CMA, I want to do ACCA, I want to do whatever certification, but I don't have time.
Yeah.
So I always tell them, okay, tell me one thing. Today, you don't start something. After 2 years, where you will be? Same, right? You haven't completed anything. But what if you start today and after 2 years, even if you finish 25%, do you
Yeah.
see a progress,
Yeah.
right? So it's not question of, whether should I do or not. It's just question of when I can start. Start it now. What are you waiting for? If you want to, grow, you have to do something. What, as they say, what brought you here will not take you there where you want to go,
Mhm.
right? You have to put more efforts. You need to upskill. You need to stay relevant.
Right. Right. Final thoughts on your career, like you're a finance senior finance manager right now, and what's your goals and aspirations in the coming years?
See, after gaining so many years of experience, obviously you now want to develop your team. It's a giving back kind of thing. And helping the companies grow, helping the companies achieve their goals. because it's a win-win situation, So it's not that, I can grow, but the company should not. No, it's not. The first company grow, then you grow. If your growth is not contributing, then that means company, you're not contributing anything. You can contribute to the growth of the company, right? So it's just that I should be able to give back, to the community, to companies, help them achieve their goals. That's why, I'm sitting here with you to share my thoughts so that others can benefit from it and they can also grow. It's this growth mindset.
Right. Anyways, thank you so much for the wonderful podcast, and especially the experience really helps, and because your strategy is different, and I would request you to volunteer once more in the future to our podcast, and we'll stay in touch. Thank you, Mr. Qasim.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank